it's a chain reaction in terms of you can't just perform in the first 3 days of the Super Weekend, right? You can't just perform in the first 2 games. You have to keep it consistent. So you do. They cannot let up. They cannot let go. They have to keep fighting for those chicken dinners, which I'm sure they'll do.
No, a lot of the focus has been on you. I think we've got to give maybe a little bit of a chance to other teams to know to shine also throughout this period. I'm going to say T1, last game of Vikendi. I mean, one of their best games so far. It seemed like a complete different T1, I do have to say, taking that fight versus Synergy. I have never seen him do that throughout the opening weekend, throughout the first week also of action on the league play. And hopefully this is just the start of a good early game for many games to come for them.
More coordinated, more calculated. Let's see if they can follow suit. As you see, the phase 1 of this Miramar game has showed itself up. It's somewhat quite well centered, kind of complements the playing trajectory, but is a little bit to the northeast, as we do see most of the teams for now are dropping towards the south 50% of the circle, as Valdez Esports have dropped close by to T1, who we have talked about being more aggressive, more calculated.
This is Rozhok 2.0 Imperial. We're back at it again, finally. The fight we've been missing forever, but it's back at it again. And you know what? T1, they struggled against Valdez in the early fights of Erangel on Rozhok because they didn't play together as well. But what we saw early on Vikendi, that is the playstyle I want to see from this team, right? This is how they can take good fights and potentially shut down Valdez in the early stage. So hopefully T1 will have a good early stage over here in San Martin.
Now, T1 do need to utilize the fact that the buildings they're currently looting in do have a little bit of a higher ground over the Valdez players, so they can get a bit more information. Not that they have to engage on it, but just that little bit of information can count. But as Team Secret have had a little bit of a tough job, tough look in the first 2 games, look for Heineken of No Chance Team. Can he get spotted out?
He's got absolutely nothing in Pyram. He's going to die, and he knows there's just no weapons. He's trying to get melee. He's trying to just get a few nice punch through, but unfortunately that's going to be to no avail, and that's going to be a very early kill for Team Secret. How did Heineken end up over there? I have no idea. Maybe a little bit of miscommunication of initially on their side.
Well,
but
his name is Heineken, so it speaks for itself. I'll say no more. But anyway,
okay.
As a Team Secret utilize a little bit of an early game look to get a kill, it's going to spell, you know, at least a better sign for them, because when you look at them in the overall standings, they are currently 13th after 2 games, 6 points in total. That's 3 per game. That's really not what Team Secret want, right? And they have actually been struggling right from the opening weekend. When you really think about it, they've yet to find their mark. They've yet to really find their strength, find their place in these games.
And also, like, Team Secret, our team that they've been talking a little bit on social media, they have some different strategies going into today. So it hasn't been paying off on the 2 first games. Yeah, hopefully that'll be the case from here on out. So let's see how Team Secret can do. But as we refocus back over to T1's ZZP, he's going to be just trying to gather some information, trying to also rotate around. But Valdez, they know that this is not a fight they want to take early on. If you want to avoid as much as possible early fights on phase 1 circle on Miramar, because it makes no sense dying on phase 1.
110% agree. Now, Froz is talking about the rotations of Miramar being so important. One team that has rotated very effectively, especially in Miramar, has been Reject Scarlet. Now, where they are currently located, which is Impala, is a great entry point to rotate into a more centralized position, maybe above Minas Generalis or around the Junkyard area, and they have plenty of space to do it, so I'd like to see them execute that. For the likes of Team IND, who are down the south tip of the circle, it shouldn't be too hard, because they can go basically in between Impala and Los Leones in their rotation. And for Synergy in Valdemar, they can basically go in between Monte Nuevo and Chumacera to get in the circle that way. But they will need to take their time.
And we also panned over on TSM Entity for some point of time. They were over to Hacienda del Patron, so far is in the more northern central position of the circle here. Yeah. They had a really good clutch fight happening against Team Secret like a few days ago, where it was like with Clutch God, if I'm not mistaken, taking the 1v4. And they have a little bit of history on that location. They're going to go back over there, so no need to rotate for them early on. They can just hold on to the location. No teams will breach that because they know it's like TSM Entity territory. It's just not worth it.
Now, I was talking to Garrick over Instagram message. I know.
We're talking to the big boy.
And he was saying that it was guaranteed to be a different weekend, a different set of games for TSM. He guaranteed me that. Now, so far, first 2 games, I hate to say it, but you're reneging on your guarantee to me. TSM only have 5 points in 2 games, but we all know that all it takes is 1 game for TSM to bounce back. But the fact of the matter is that they've struggled to really get those games in, right? We've seen you know, shines of brightness and kind of glimmers of greatness, but nothing really cohesive in terms of 2 games in a row, 3 games in a row, consistency, and that's something that worries me about them.
Yeah, like they're not the team that's known the most for their consistency going into it, so hopefully they'll get those big stonker games very, very soon down the line. But we're going to go over to Yudu. So Yudu, you know, we saw that playing path going from El Pozo all down to like the more central position down south, means that really on this phase 1 circle, all of the northern area is completely open for the taking, so that creates a lot of great opportunities for Yudu Gank to rotate into, which they are going to be pulling off that rotation to move away from Cabrera right now. Might go towards water treatment as a decent position.
Now, I know No Chance team did lose a player, the hands of Heineken, early on to Team Secret, but where they are currently located, La Bandita, absolutely love it. La Bandita is such a great area in the early parts of a game when it's especially firmly in the towards the center circle as it is in this Miramar game. They can use that little peak and trough all around La Bandita, and also if they do get breached by another angle, there's loads of areas that they can actually rotate and disengage away too. So it's a really great area for No Chance to hold on to, and hopefully it'll prove to be ferocious in the late game.
La Bandita circles are definitely very interesting most of the time. It's like playing on the ridge, and I find them pretty intriguing on how teams respond to it. Let's go to now Bigatron. They like to go in the area around here, this nice compound. They're going to take into control. Allows a lot of rotations, and the car spawns also in that compound is really good. So hopefully all things will be going pretty decently for them. Let's pan on over to now Valdez. They've been rotating quite a bit this game, as now they're going to be trying to just hold on to this location for the time being. You can't really protect your cars really nicely here. If you have a team that is on the high ground, they can just pop the wheels and they'll have a hard time rotating.
I've got to give them credit for disengaging away from T1.
Yeah, I think that definitely there's a lot of respect coming out from that, and something that they are known as also the third-party team. So as time goes by, they start to like wanting to retreat a bit more from those early engagements. And I like the amount of respect, especially on Miramar. I said that earlier, right? You don't want to die on one of the biggest, if not the biggest map on PUBG Mobile. This is not going to be worth it. As we pan on over to now, maybe one of our first big fights breaking out is going to be Galaxy Racer Celt and a Bigatron, as Rox slowly pushing up, and you got a full line of sight by Bigatron, and he still keep on going. He's going to keep on pushing. I'm scared for Rox.
Now, Rox, we saw what he did in the first game, right? Nearly got a 1v3 against the U2 team at the end. Can he do something? I'm not going to say similar, but definitely something of an effective way. But I think he saw that, and he is disengaging away. Did a little bit of scouting for his squad, for his side. And that's intelligent play from Celsius. They are currently in second place overall in the standings, 29 points. But of course, we all know U2. They're on 66. There is that massive difference.
66 for them. Absolutely stonker first early performance. But here it is, the circle. Going to be popping on our screens. Where will it shift to? That's the question. The Love team going to go pretty central, which you like to see on Miramar. Now you've got a lot of high grounds, a lot of nice little compounds to play around, especially where Valdez are currently localized. But the high ground especially, to the western side, where currently Box R is pretty decent. The circle shifting up north a little bit over to the eastern side. The big compounds will mostly be taken out of place, but you've got still so much room up north. A lot of teams can take that under control.
Team Secret, they're on a bit of a 3-1 split at the moment, but because the circle has centered up, I would actually recommend that all of their squad join up together to protect one core area of this map.
I think that's definitely something interesting. It's Bigatron trying to take a few shots, but not going to quite go for the early engagement on King of Gamers Club. Also because I think they really want to avoid giving their location away. Because especially earlier, Celts did not know that they were there, and they might have even sent rocks. So they're just going to keep that blanket of misinformation for themselves as a time being. As Orange Rock, they're going for the high ground position. And that amount of information, maybe not like straight up aggression on the teams, but like the information they can take and gather in this early stage is huge from that position.
Also, when you really think of where they are currently located, because the Phase 2 did shift a little bit up north, the north 50% of that Phase 2 is completely unoccupied. Junkyard, south of Cruz the Val, water treatment area, all available for the likes of Orange Rock to rotate to should Phase 3 shift once again up north, and they can avoid all the trouble down south.
Yeah, and it makes things really easy for you, dude, because there's absolutely no point of contestment up there, so everything will be under control. As now Lewis of Box will see the Megastars are slowly trying to climb up that little mountain, or little mountain, big boy mountain, should I say. And he gets the information, but he knows if he takes the shot early, he's going to give the information away. Here it is. Might be that one golden opportunity. He goes for the spray. Can he get it? Oh, I thought he was going to miss it for a split second there, but here it is. It will be connected on Weiss. And now they will try and potentially push onto Lewis and try and also get that golden res up, because Lewis is not going to be able to jump down to go for that fight.
Here's the thing, Lewis doesn't want to go for the fight. Hell, probably doesn't even want to go for the kill, just sending a message saying, get the hell away from our area. This is our land, this is our mountain. Go back, find a different route in, my friends. It's such great protection play from Lewis and Box Gaming. That information will go over. Don't know cells are there, but now Team Secret, King of Gamers getting pretty close around the graveyard.
Yeah, King of Gamers Club, they've been rotating quite a bunch of times this time around, but now they're getting close to Team Secret. A fight. Oh, Mad Toy's position, I absolutely love how that is coming out. They got no chance team. Godless coming around the corner there. But definitely the angle of Mad Toy could be huge to stop them pushing onto U-High. And also got the high ground position held by two other players a little bit further over on the western side. This could be a huge fight for Team Secret. But I think that definitely how the grenades are going to get popped up. Yeah, King of Gamers, they definitely have information on Team Secret being around.
Nice.
Yeah, grenade does connect on U-High a little bit. Down to now mid-health. But they can't fully commit to this one.
As a nice little counter grenade by UI. Now he's going to be able to just backtrack behind that further wall, use a little bit of a first aid kit. Now he can, I believe, wrap around to the house on the other side. It would definitely be a lot safer than backtracking, because if he backtracks, he's completely out in the open now, unless Mad Toy is extremely well advanced on his eyesight. As the shots come through from UI onto Braga. That's going to be first knockdown initially from Team Seeker, looking a little bit more dangerous. But could the third party from No Chance team come into play?
You saw Bubu just rumbling down the mountain, going with U-High. Now they're going to go for a two-man push onto King of Gamers. No Chance potentially looking for a third-party opportunity around here. So if they can steal a few frags along the way, I'm sure they will not say no to that golden opportunity. So now here it is. Bossa and Concept just locked in that building. They just can't move anywhere.
Now, while we do see this fight kind of starting to pick up a bit of pace, the Phase 3 circle has gone heavily up towards the northwest, with Udo and T1 taking firm advantage of that.
I mean, yeah, Udo, they're definitely happy to get this one. They might get the 3 in a row chicken dinners of the entirety of this tournament so far. That'll be a huge statement for Udo. But now refocus back onto King of Gamers as they're trying to look for an opportunity to run away from this one. Bigatron still in the distance, and they know the fight's happening over there, but they can just easily rotate from the south. They don't have to really get involved with this.
True. Now, the tough thing about this circle shift up towards the northwest is that there's a lot of open field area in between Hacienda and water treatment that could come under fire slash teams won't really want to go to. So I could see 3 to 4 teams actually go into San Martin, because it'd be somewhat of a safer position for at least this circle and maybe the circle after.
I'm going to be seeing Bigatron there. Indeed, going to be leaving the scene entirely. And Mad Toy still getting that information, but somewhat No Chance. They're getting locked in the same situation as King of Gamers right now, because Mad Toy is just holding them down. Goes for the nice spray with the M4, hits him down to now mid-health. Off Dales will be able to make it through to the other smoke. Well, it's Choco Nuts, while Godless is just going to be holding a little bit of a restraining order with the rest of his team, just staying really far back, not quite ready to follow suit. As he pan on over to now also Synergy and Megastars, as they're quite looking for position to move away from this. But Servi, can he get himself to the buggy? I don't know.
It's going to be a little bit of a Mad Max battle as Servi gets the shots off on towards the members of Megastars. They get out of the vehicle. He prones down behind the buggy. He knows he's going to be potentially under fire. Now can the rest of the Synergy team provide that little bit of cover inside the circle? You do have a third party potential of Galaxy Racer itself, but Vexy pops his way down. Going to have to get that heal off as Ted is going to look to cook up a grenade.
Grenade, they're very close together. Vexy and Oace, here it is. Grenade comes out, then the dip 2, that's huge! Connects onto Oace, and he'll be knocked away. Now that's going to give a little bit more of a confidence boost over to the Synergy players. They've been looking for Servi in the distance. Nicely done. Vexy gets things locked down, as Ted's still looking for the high ground potential. Gets Paradox, is potentially going to try and go for the flush, but Megastar's getting absolutely battered in this fight versus Synergy.
Now going to be another Kobe coming out from Ted. Is that going to connect? It does indeed. Onto Oaze, he goes down. Vexy's going to have to try and heal up. The revive is going to be executed as a first aid kit is going to be put together by Vexy. Maybe another revive onto Oaze. That's going to be time. Valuable time for Synergy.
And we're about to shift into phase 4. That tick damage is not going to be fun to play around with. Servi will get put back on his feet. Oaze should be the same in just a matter of a few seconds. There you go. A 2v2 fight can still be happening. But Ted going for another grenade. The inner dip. The big weakness of Diptry is those grenades. And there you go. Ted, once again, an absolute bullseye of a nade. And now they got to push and make something out of it. But another counter grenade will come out. Oh, there you go. Connects. These grenades are 10,000 IQ.
Anything you can do, I can do better. I can do anything better than you. But Servi comes in and gets a kill confirmed onto Always. And Vexy is knocked down. That's going to leave Encore on his own. And it's going to be a matter of Encore. Do you want more? No, I don't want more. I've gotten the hell out of there.
I think that's definitely the better opportunity for them. Try and keep your eggs in different baskets and keep one player alive minimum. At least you have a better chance of trying to get extra positioning points overall. As Orange Rocks, they're slowly going to try and get himself involved in the center of the map. Gil and Scout getting really close to T1. And the fight might be breaking up pretty soon, but there's not a lot of areas to play around in this circle now on the edge, so the team's going to have to really force their way through into the circle to find decent and safe positions.
But here's the thing, because the circle shifted down towards the southwest, you do still have the majority of San Martin in play, so that is actually a little bit better for the teams because they can go into the buildings, which are a little bit safer in Miramar.
Hacienda del Patron, big boy fight's going to be coming out, ladies and gentlemen. Yonjin just keeping an eye out for Orange Rock to make sure they don't try and get any closer to their building. Marvi, the man with the golden hand, at a distance as Scout tries to go for a little bit of a spray there, looking for information. They will not do too much as of yet, but the fight's definitely trying to force around the edges, and one fight is happening on the edges is going to be actually Team Secret and Reject Scarlet. As Reject Scarlet was that 2-2 split, could be very intriguing. A smoke road coming out from Team Secret, you high on the right side. But where are they trying to aim to go towards with that?
Well, it's pretty tough for Team Secret because they are kind of out in the open field outside Hacienda del Patron. If they go towards the north, they've got TSM in front of them. They've got T1 as well. They're going to make that push with Mad Toy sending himself forward, going onto the side of the cliffside. But now Reject Scarlet, they are a team that can rotate very effectively, shooting towards the members of No Chance team as well as BTR.
Sarah trying to get a few nice sprays down, but unfortunately not going to get too much out of that one as of yet. And here it is now, King of Gamers. They want to get involved. Boss is going to be knocked away. They're down to only now one member. And he's going to still try and make the most out of it. Can he get the entire shutdown onto Reject Scarlet? Be careful getting shot from the other side, I believe by Team Secret, if I'm not mistaken. Concept still trying to make his way over there. We'll have to see on our screens if he makes it out alive. He does make it over to the silos, as you have a replay playing off on the side.
Yeah, like that's like third, fourth partying going on realistically because he had Reject, King of Gamers, No Chance team, and at least BTR coming into play. But now is Webb gonna make his way, pushing it across. Concept gonna get the job done against Concept, and down goes King of Gamers Club, and Reject Scarlet will at least be able to continue on. But they are outside the circle. The blue zone's starting to close in. They've No Chance team in front of them, and No Chance they only have 2 players up, but they're playing as if they have a full squad.
Yeah, and they're still gonna make it through. Bigatron, they got the compound nearby, and Team Secret, they got the high ground. This is not going well for No Chance team with Choconuts and Offtails remaining. They got to try their best to hold on to that position. They are barely in, but they could potentially take that fight versus Reject Scarlet to try and relieve a little bit of pressure from them, which they should be able to put them in a better situation to try and rotate further into the center of the circle.
But they do have the reigning, defending, undisputed world champions of BTR in front of them, so they need to take down Reject. Indeed they do. Job done for No Chance team. They'll continue on after they get the revive, but BTR full squad in front of them. You got Orange Rock ahead of them as well on the high ground overlooking. You've even got Box Gaming down south, but the circle shifts to the east right in the favor of BTR, T1, Orange Rock, Team Seeker, No Chance.
Hacienda still in the vicinity of this shift. Interesting to see how teams will try and respond to this one. Here it is now, the fight of No Chance team is going to be breaking out with Team Secret, as Luxy not quite willing to peek over there because there's a little bit of a plateau. He would have to put himself in a really dangerous spot, and that means that Orange Rock and T1 could take a few shots towards them. So BTR, they got to be very careful how they play around that eastern side.
True, but No Chance have to reposition because they are susceptible to a lot of grenades. As Synergy do get eliminated, Galaxy Racer, Celts and RQ are fighting inside San Martin, which is now outside the circle. Their grenade from Ultron looking to try and connect inside and outside the building towards the members of RQ.
Yeah, a few grenades coming out. Ultron trying to connect it, but RQ Athena, they are defending that building. But that smoke road, so many utilities getting used up, and I think they might even need those utilities for the late game. That might come and spell desolation for them later on down the line, but here it is. The push of GXR. Galaxy Racer Celts will be coming out very, very soon. MJ is going to be the one actually going for the run first. He's going to be the YOLO player of Celts. And Beer just on a position a little bit higher up in the building. Hopefully we'll get the initial knockdown because so far the man advantage is over to Celts.
Valdez have the potential third partying should they get it done, as TSM Entity once again go out in the early parts of this game at the hands of T1 defending their Hacienda del Patron compound all to themselves. No chance team do go down this fight between Galaxy Racer Celts and RRQ. Outside the circle is going to get closer and closer to finishing as the Indian team of Galaxy Racer Celts wants to close out RRQ. Ernie gets dropped to the floor, not before he did knock down Rocks.
Things are not going too well on the other side. Here it is, Celts. They're going to be pushing forward. They're trying to get that initial knockdown, which they were able to find for themselves eventually. But now it's all in the hands of Beer in this building with G9. Here it is, going for the push onto MJ. They get a nice build of initial damage. He's down to now about 1/4 HP remaining. He does get one knockdown. Can he get the 1v2? No, he can't. That'll be the end of MJ. Now, RRQ, they need to take control of this fight. They need to shut down all of the other players of Celts. Can they do that in a very small amount of time? Because they've got to move back in circle right now.
Yeah, it's down to this 1v1 at least between Celts and RRQ, both of them inside the blue zone. Yeah, Valdez and Team IND camping them on the western edge of the circle. It did center up a little bit nicely as the blue zone is closing in. Ultron is going to heal himself up. Will he be able to execute that in time? All the while, Beer is still inside that building.
Oh, that was close for Ultron there. Also, Snacks of IND just almost going down to the blue zone, but there, Ultron, he's going to be the blue zone now and gets rid of Snacks of Team IND. Nicely done, as Beer's still trying to tank up against that blue zone. Has still 1 medkit and 2 first aids, but will that be enough to tank up this late game blue zone? It's not going to be the case for Ultron right there. He will get eliminated with Team IND in 8th position, and there you have it. That's going to be a few teams taken out. Now, 7 remaining in this game, Imperium. Things are getting more and more set in stone.
These circle shifts have been a little bit harsh in the last couple of phases as we get put down to 7 teams. The blue zone has definitely played a huge part in a couple of these teams, and players going down. It's T1 on the roof of Hacienda, punishing teams around them. They get a knockdown initially onto the members of Team Secret. They do have BTR a little bit further behind Team Secret coming in from the blue zone.
The great thing about Hacienda del Patron, those rooftops gives you visibility on every single area of the map in the later stages. And now Grenade coming out from Missile. Might get a little bit of action done. Team Secret still trying to use those smoke roads because they're currently not in circle, and they've got to make really a high amount of work to potentially try and make it out alive. But that is also the case for Yudu. They got 2 chicken dinners, 1 on Erangel and also 1 on Vikendi. Can that also be the case on Miramar? Gonna go for the push. That smoke road seems pretty good, but Missile knows exactly where they are, and he's predicting their movements so damn well.
But that's okay, right? Just shoot and keep them back. Keep them pushed back, as Eye Shot from Team Secret is gonna get engaged on by BTR. That's gonna be confirmation till T1 have a little bit of security that there is a couple of teams fighting behind them, but down goes Team Secret. Gil getting the job done for Orange Rock, still inside this game. 5 teams left, 16 players as you do reposition behind this rock.
Yeah, behind that little bit of terrain. I love how they are approaching Hacienda del Patron. Be careful there, you got Sidon behind the wall, but they will not get scattered out just yet. Sidon will have to reposition inside the building though, because Dratz has already engaged and breached this one up, trying to get a bit of utility, but now they've got to potentially refocus down onto Orange Rock because they're on the edge of the circle. The next circle shift might not be in their favor, Imperium.
We'll have to wait and see. There is still 1 golden member of Valdez to murder outside the circle on the west that could provide a little bit of a surprise. Boo-hoo, I am here onto any of these teams. But as BTR staved their way down on the southern side of the circle, they are still a full squad, and you don't count out the reigning defending undisputed world champions this early into an event.
T1, they started their redemption arc last game on Vikendi, picking up a few kills, 8 kills actually along the way. Will that now result in a chicken din on the 3rd game of the day of the Super Weekend? We'll have to wait and see. But apparently still a lot of utility getting used here. If they have to move away without any utility away from Hacienda del Patron, that could spell desolation for a few of these squads. But here it is now. The push is going to be happening. Sadin, he's going to be the first man in sight of Yudu, and he's going to try his best to defend his location. But definitely Yudu are very spread, and they're trying to push on this location of T1. It's going to be hard.
It is, and it's so hard, right? You can say T1 shouldn't have let
drop down.
Yudu in here, but the drop shot comes through. Nice one by Missile with the Uzi. There you go. I lost my word, but Missile didn't lose his accuracy getting a knockdown. It was, of course, counter knocked by Yudu as Drax and Fredo trying to hold on inside the building. The circle shifted up north. Orange Rock is still on the south side tip. Gonna have to push back BTR. this is still a little bit of a stalemate, and JCZ from Valdez is still inside this game.
They sent Ryzen first to get closer to the building of Orange Rock, but now the entirety of Bigatron, they got to follow up with that move. They got to try and get themselves inside, but Orange Rock, they need to take care of also the teams in. Hacienda de Patron, great grenade coming out from Ryzen, will not result in a knockdown, unfortunately, but the second just might. And he will try and connect it. Scout going to pull off the res on himself. They're trying to fight back those grenades, those utility, but JCZ or Valdez still remaining alive, and because BTR going for the push, that might be his golden opportunity to get himself in circle.
Who knows? We'll have to wait and find out as Luxy sends himself forward. Grenade being cooked up by the man himself. In through the window, in through the door. Gonna see if it cooks up in time. No, it does. Actually, it does indeed. Scout gets knocked down, but Ryzen from a distance gets also counter-knocked, and Skill comes in from the side of the building and knocks down Luxy.
People call Gil the MVP of this lobby in the World League East, and I think that title was definitely deserved, but now he's got to prove himself. Can he allow Orange Rock to remain alive? As here it is, Zuxi, he is going for the push. Gil got Viru back on his feet. They can try and aim for Scout too, but that might take a little bit too long as Zuxi's going to be cooking up his grenade. I think the angle's not going to be valid for him to actually get the knock, and that will indeed not be the case on the initial knockdown.
Like, how can you have 4 teams inside Hacienda on 2 separate fights, one on either side? It's absolutely incredible. Phase 7 closing in. BTR, Microboy goes for the sight, goes for the shots, but gets knocked down in return. And Luxy, Zuxi just trying to hold on as Ryzen on the edge of the tip looks for Valdez, and down he goes.
You do have a great third party on all this engagement. Got a little bit of engagement on also Zuxi just a few seconds prior. And now they've got to try and end this fight. We still got 4 teams remaining in this one, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be insane. It's going to be huge. Bigatron, they still got to push up. They lost 2 members already. Even now, Ryzen and Luxi are remaining. But still, now we've got this sharing position between Yudu on the low ground and the rooftop over to T1. It's interesting to see, but who will take this game? Nobody knows right now.
And now Orange Rock are pinched between 2 teams outside the circle. Will actually make that 3 teams because T1 are still inside this game, as BTR be fighting against the circle for the last couple of phases, but they pushed their way in. Sidon gets knocked down from Yudu. Now the stalemate of that team fight between T1 and Yudu might start to kick off in the next couple of seconds. Out comes in and gets a knockdown, tries to confirm the kill on the Horizon, but Luxy comes in and gets the job done, and down goes Orange Rock.
Luxy only needed one more bullet to get rid of Scout, and it was done successfully, but now the smoke's on the top of the roof for T1. They know they're going to have to drop down, but if they drop down, they would have the high ground advantage also. It's really depending on who responds in the better fashion. But the circle did move away from the position of Bigatron. It might be the case of, you know, Yudu or also T1 getting rid of that team. There it is, the initial knockdowns will potentially come out. They've got to move away from that position. And Gyeonjun, the first dropping out that smoke ridge, is actually going to be helping him out to hold a different angle that could spell destination for Yudu.
Yeah, indeed, and also Missile is going to look to throw out another smoke to give that level of protection to Youngun, who's also proning behind a wall. But of course, where you see smoke, you can see grenade targeting, and that's exactly what Yudu are trying to do. Satan jumps out the window, but gets knocked down by Fredo.
That was a nice attempt, but unfortunately didn't get the damage out. Fredo, the man with the deadly smile and even more deadly weapons, is going to get a few nice knockdowns for himself. But here it is, the last member of Bigatron going to go for the push. ZZP's got to drop down eventually, but Bigatron, they do some work. Luxy, they might just go all the way. They might just steal this chicken dinner over here on Miramar Imperium. As it is, Ryzen just going to be chilling behind those rocks, and Yudu trying to take control of this northern circle section.
Oh, Ryzen with the MK14s in the face of Yudu as T1 get eliminated. We're down to these 2 teams. It is the World Champions against the winner of the first 2 games of the World League East Super Weekend Day 1 as a grenade from Luxy. He's going to have to try and survive. He is going to be one.